Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Kaiser Report. We're coming to you today from East Tennessee in the studios to talk to you about a few things that are going on in and around the country and the world today, keeping in mind that there is a lot to be concerned about and a lot to have to worry about if we're living paycheck to paycheck like most of us are. Under this, what we're told is a fabulous economy that isn't panning out to be much of a fabulous economy, but here we are, and not a whole lot going on other than the Houthi rebels are still firing missiles at shipping lanes and keeping our transportation system tied up. In Russia, the Washington Post has posted that the morgue refuses to release Alexei Navalny's body to his wife, and she says that she will continue to lead the fight against Putin. There's some measures going on there that we probably don't understand and are not privy to. And our mainstream media and our government is not going to tell you the truth about anything that's going on. Which brings me to today's topic of hate and division that's going on in this world today. Everybody wants you to hate the Russians right now. You have to hate Putin. And the reason for that is that they want to send more billions of dollars over to the Ukraine. And necessary to do that is to convince us that we need to hate those people and for what's going on in the Ukraine and continue to fund this. I myself don't believe that this is a thing to do or to be doing or being around anyone that is going through this type of trials in their lives. They are human beings like we are. The Palestinians are human beings like we are and should be treated as such. The racial divide that's going on in this country is being heightened once again because we're going into an election year. And guess what the left likes to do? It likes to pit you against anyone that is not your race, it's not your religion, and don't have the same beliefs that you have, and they will garner their votes. The reason that we have so many illegal immigrants coming into this border is for precisely that. Get these people into a voting situation and remember who brought you in here and who you need to vote for. This is an ongoing thing, and it has been forever, but people now, because of the cover-up of the media and the government, we are beginning to open our eyes and see exactly what's in front of us because it is not conducive to keeping our republic strong. The weakening of our economy is going on a daily basis, in most cases unchecked. And we need, other than the handful of senators and Congress people that we have that want to go into Washington and actually do the work that they were elected to do, are few and far between. We need to stop the hate in this country between different factions, whether it's MAGA, BLM, Antifa, whatever organizations that you can come up with that spread hate and discontent is something to keep your eye on and probably help do away with. Because division is how they control their population, or they think that this is the way to control it. We have elections coming up. We don't have a grand choice of people that have different opinions. Listened to over the weekend some RFK Jr., which I'm beginning to believe that this man knows a few things about what's going on behind the curtain that we don't see. That, coupled with the fact that our mainstream media is bought and paid for by both the pharmaceutical companies and the World Economic Forum and whoever is calling the shots with the media. If you flip from channel to channel, they use the identical words. So tell me that that's not being read off a sheet of paper, that it's been administered to each and every one of these news platforms that come out and tell you all of the fabulous news that there is. We don't hear what's going on around the world in most cases because they don't want you to. They want you to think the way they want you to think, and if you think in another way, they will cancel you or try to make you out someone that you're not, or accuse you of being a racist or not caring for human life and this, that, and the other thing, while they're out making money hand over fist and lying to you about the end results of most of what's going on. We here at the Kaiser Report try to look at this daily news skew that comes out every morning and sift through what is right and what is wrong. And also, it's almost comical to look at X and a few other platforms to see what people are saying about other people. This is downright nasty, hateful things that people are posting about individuals that they don't know, and they don't know what drives these people. But we have to have dialogue between people with common interests that may not think exactly the same. Prayer is the most important thing that we can possibly think about in this Lenten season, where we should be giving thanks for everything we have and giving thanks for Jesus dying on the cross and being resurrected on Easter Sunday, and not coming up with ways to hate an individual because they're Russian or they're Polish or Italian, black, white, red. What we need to worry about is closing our border, stop letting in people that intend to hurt us, stop breaking the bank with free giveaways to people who crash through a border illegally, and clean up our cities of the homeless that are living in tents along sidewalks that you can no longer pass down. This is evident in San Francisco, hugely, and LA, and Chicago, and New York. I know Dan from I Allegedly has been broadcasting from New York, showing all kinds of people in construction in the streets and all this other stuff. But they have to stop and realize that a lot of the construction that's going on in New York is because they can't rent some of these buildings that were built as office buildings. They're reconfiguring now to either do housing or something else in these buildings because no one is renting office space anymore. People trying to still work from home, which brings us to the weekend news of layoffs. Layoffs continue. Walmart has been affected. UPS, FedEx, how many more people are going to be laid off so they stop telling you how great the job numbers are? These are not barista work people that we're talking about here. We're talking about white collar, blue collar, all color collars in major cities are no longer wanting to go to work. There's a shortage of plumbers in this country. There's a shortage of plumbers, electricians, carpenters, auto mechanics. We've made cars so sophisticated now that the average Joe cannot change a spark plug or his own oil. You're reliant on getting back to the dealer or an authorized service center where you can get your car work done. Strange, but true. This is where we are. And we need to get on our knees and pray that something happens to stop the hate and the divide in this country and in this world. You cannot hate an entire country of people because of one bad leader or one jackass that decides to go blow something up. And we're just as bad here. Walmart says they're getting tired of being just a store. They want to be more than a store. They want to get banking in there and ophthalmologists and dentists and everything that you can think of. Walmart wants to get involved in. So we don't know what they're going to pull next, but there are some Walmart stores that are talking about closure right now. These are not stores that are in good neighborhoods. I'm sure they're in suffering from the smash and grab artists that are out there taking things and not paying for it and doing all of that and getting away with it because the judicial system has decided that we can put them out without bail. Classic example is New York, where they beat those policemen and were released the same day. In my day, that would never have happened, but it's happening now. Why we have decided to defund police departments in places like Minnesota and areas where BLM drove their narrative through is beyond me because you get in trouble, the first thing you want to look for is having a police officer on your side. And it should be that way. You know, growing up in neighborhoods in New York was a unique experience because we had our own greengrocer, we had our own butcher. I remember when the A&P opened up, and the A&P was the first one you could go buy coffee and canned foods and things of that nature, but we still were sent daily by my mother or my grandmother to go out and get certain cuts of meat for the night, and you went to the butcher shop for that, and they did that for you, and you carried it home, and they cooked it for dinner. Same thing with the fresh greens and vegetables that you needed. Right next door to the butcher shop was Pete the greengrocer, and we went in there, and you got your broccoli or your asparagus, whatever the veggie of the day was called for on my shopping list, and you went home with it. And if you had change left over from what your grandmother or your mother gave you to go shopping with, there was a candy store on the corner that you had to pass to get home with the groceries. And that candy store was called Jack's. And Jack's had the best penny candies and mellow rolls. And if you don't know what a mellow roll is, it was a roll of ice cream that's set in a rectangular cone. And I believe it was a dime for the longest time, and then I think it went to 15 cents. But it was a major thing to look for on a daily basis. If Nanny said to me, "Can you go get groceries?" my bike was already running, and we went and got it. But and we had different ethnic groups in and around neighborhoods near us. My area was basically mostly Irish and Italian, and it was a great experience to grow up that way. Then the supermarkets came along, and and it was a controlled atmosphere that you had to go once a week and load up the cart. And I prefer the European way of getting fresh on a daily basis. Hard to do when you have to have a car to go get the stuff now, where in the old neighborhoods we could walk or ride your bicycle. Didn't have to worry about getting clubbed in the head on your way back for your groceries. It has come to a point where it could be dangerous for some people in certain cities to be out shopping on a daily basis. Restaurants are suffering a little right now from lack of people spending money. Yes, there are a lot of people in the streets of New York running around and looking like they're shopping. Few of them have shopping bags, but not very many usually do. That climate has changed tremendously. And of course, I'm talking about the pictures that I allegedly put up from Times Square last night, and in and around the theater district, and over in Central Park was suspiciously not as crowded as it used to be this time of year. The skating ring at Rockefeller Center was fairly crowded, but that's more tourist than anything else, and I'm glad that they're still getting tourism there. But there are some problems in New York City that you need to be about your wits at all times going in there, whether it's to see a play or go to a great restaurant. The restaurants are still there, and they are good. However, the population's discretionary funds are not that healthy. They want to tell you that the economy is doing great. Bidenomics is the best thing that ever happened to anybody. I don't see it. None of the experts that I talk to can see it. They're all waiting for a major change. And if you're sitting around waiting for the Fed to come out and just lower interest rates to make your life better, don't hold your breath, because that's not going to happen very soon. They're talking about within the next 4 months a bank collapse. This is what we need to keep our eyes on. We need to keep our eyes on a falsely inflated stock market that is on the ups and downs all week long last week, and probably will do the same this week. So if you have a large amount of your wealth tied up in the stock market, I would severely caution you to take a hard look and get a brokerage house that you're working with to work with you to reduce your exposures in the next few months. There's a lot happening across the world. Congress is on a 2-week break, which I don't think they should be on. I think they need to be called back and fix a couple of these things, especially fixing the fact that we're going to send another $61 billion to Zelensky in the Ukraine. Based on what? Based on what is your plans? The president needs to come out first and foremost and tell you what the end result of all this thing is, and what are your plans for bringing this to an end, and not starting up wars in other areas right now. My God, we're going into Easter, and we would love to see peace on earth for Easter. And I pray every day that the leaders that are in these countries making these decisions, these very poor war decisions, need to be blessed and made to understand that the division of the world's peoples are not the way it should be. So, again, I urge you all to please pray for peace. We need it. The military-industrial machine is the one that likes to promote wars, because without a war, they don't have anything to make. We need to resupply our stockpiles for our own protection because we've given it all away between Afghan and the Ukraine. Our supplies have dwindled. So please urge your sitting congresspeople and senators to listen to what your thoughts are, because your and my thoughts are the thoughts that should be heard by our politicians who supposedly work for us, but they get into Washington's beltway and then everything becomes, what's in it for me? Well, what's in it for the United States of America citizenry is disaster if we don't get a hold of this. And we don't elect people that will work on our behalf to make this country what it was set up to be by the original framers and go back to enjoying life and enjoying one another's friendships and family togetherness. When the family comes apart, as do the world. So embrace your loved ones, pray with your loved ones, and for God's sake, let your voices be heard. We have these platforms that we can do this. Of course, I have comments that are listed below, and I would be happy to announce any of the comments you have, answer them, or research them for you, so please use it below. Also, please, I cannot continue to bring you news and walking tours of areas of the Appalachia without your support and your subscriptions to this channel. So please, when you hit the like button, also subscribe to my channel, and let's get more happiness on these things. And as the weather breaks, we'll be out and about with the cameras and bring you some small town areas out of Appalachia that you will enjoy, and maybe want to get in your car and ride down here for a weekend and enjoy them yourself, because it is a beautiful place here near the Blue Ridge Mountains. And it just doesn't get any finer, unless you're in Carolina, than East Tennessee. So with that, I'm going to probably get out of here a little early. I'm going to go research some things today to maybe bring you a short this afternoon, or publish some more today, or at the very least, you'll see me back tomorrow. So with that, I'm going to say I'm out of here. Thank you. Bye-bye now.